In this video, we're going to be dealing with a very common issue on Mercedes ML350 W166, and the issue is leaky camshaft position sensors. Before replacing camshaft position sensors, I'm going to show you how to check if yours is leaking. Start by removing this front engine cover. From here you could see two of them. One's right here, one is there, but unfortunately it's not enough room to disconnect this connector. They're very prone to leak not from here, but from actually inside connector. You could try to remove this one, just be careful if you drop it, it might be kind of tough to take it out. The one that's easier to check is actually behind this air filter housing. Start by removing this piece. Now I remove two bolts, one is right here, one over there. I am missing one though, so I'll just remove this one. Size is E10. Now I'm gonna release this clamp right here with a flathead screwdriver. And I'm gonna remove this connector. Now it should be pretty easy to take this airbox out. Just pull this way a little to take this tube from here, and now you can take airbox out. Slide it over to you, and it's out. Here's the connector I'm gonna inspect. Just pry this gray piece out. Now push on it and remove the connector. And as you can see, it is very oily. The tough part gonna be removing bolts in the back. Those are pretty easy to get. The ones in the back are pretty tough. And my understanding, most people, and according to Mercedes manual, you have to remove this piece. We'll get to it, we'll see if we can remove those two bolts without removing anything here. But before doing that, we'll start right here. Gonna disconnect this. Gonna remove this connector. Move this away and this away. Now I'm gonna disconnect throttle body. Actually, it's better to disconnect it afterwards because it's tough to reach here. I'm gonna remove this piece. Size is T20. Gonna remove this cover. It's secured by two T20 bolts. So it looks like regular 3/8 extension or even socket. Not gonna go in. It goes in very tightly and then gets stuck in the middle. So we need to find a smaller one. Just ordered 1/4 flex head ratchet, 1/4 socket, couple adapters to get this done. I should get them in a couple of days, but I'll continue removing a bunch of things around the intake manifold. Gonna remove this one. Now I'm gonna remove this one. I'll try to just pull it out. So it looks like to actually take it out, push with a screwdriver here and take it out. Or you could try with fingers, push like this and see if it'll come out. I'll take it out from here. And one more right here. What I'm gonna try to do is using small screwdriver. Gonna try to pry that connector out. It's pretty much impossible. I think I have to wait till I get that ratchet, socket and those adapters. Because if I'll be able to remove two here and two there, I'd be able to move this manifold around. Maybe if I'll be able to move it a couple inches this way, it'll be easier for me to loosen that connector. And I think there's a hose there I need to remove, but same thing, if I'll be able to move it, I should be able to remove things easier. So I ordered quarter ratchet and several adapters, and it does look like it might work. It's not too easy, but flex head like this, and as you can see, it is working now. And I'll do same thing on this one. Now I'm gonna remove those two. Okay, came up a little. Think I'm getting there, just have to see how far I unscrewed those bolts. Spent about an hour trying to get the bolts in the back completely removed or completely out of the threads, and it looks like I'm almost there, but it feels like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like there's still one or two threads in, so it's almost loose. I kept trying, but I can't get it out. So in your case, I guess you could still use the same ratchet adapters I used. Maybe it's just a matter of luck. But what I'll do now is I'll actually remove some of the pieces over there to get better clearance. And at the end of the video, we'll know for sure whether it was needed or not. So I'll start by removing this. I'll remove several 8mm bolts. There's one right here. One right here. Looks like I can remove this and this, which gives me access to 8mm bolt right here. Here is another 8mm bolt. Looks like someone been there before and put 10mm bolt. All others were like this. This one's different. Now I can remove this piece. By the way, I forgot to mention, but you might be able to do most of sensors just by loosening those two in the back. Because look, there is good access, at least for this one, well, and definitely this one. Have to figure out where one more. Now there are two 10mm bolts or nuts that go right here, one here and one there. I'm gonna try to remove those. Gonna remove this T20 bolt. Looks like it's not tight at all, which means probably someone been there, and actually makes it a little bit easier. I should be able to slide this piece out. Actually, there's one more on this side. Now I'm gonna try to lift it up. Just took this out. That really sucked. On the bright side, much better clearance, so hopefully I'll be able to finally unplug this one. And here, one hose I think I need to disconnect. Just unplug it. I think it's the one with yellow line. Now that I have better clearance, I'm gonna again try to remove those two bolts in the back. I'll just use this without any other adapters. Same thing on this one. Let's see. All right. Now I'm gonna try to disconnect this one. And it's out. So obviously those two were super easy and those two really tough. As you can see, the one of them is a bit higher, the other one's a bit lower. Here's the intake manifold. Again, really easy to get to those, and those two really sucked. I also wanted to show you how with this adapter how it works. So as you can see here, you have pretty good room on top and it's reaching pretty good. On this side, it's really tough to get a good angle where you could even see it. But here, it goes a bit deeper. Really tough to even aim it to make sure it goes there. So this one's definitely tougher, and what sucks is you can't really fix it. You just have to really keep on trying till you get it on. And that's that hose we removed. That's another one we tried to remove, that connector, but it was very tough with a firewall cover piece on the way. Okay, I found all sensors. So that's one, that's another one, that's another one. This one was kind of tough to find at first, but it's right here. So if you just loosen those two bolts, you should be able to lift intake manifold, put something here and replace all four. I'm gonna start with this one. Size is T30. I'm gonna use original camshaft position sensors. I got them from FCP Euro and they offer lifetime warranty. I'll put a little bit of engine oil on the gasket. And I'm gonna clean this oily connector with contact cleaner. This one actually looked really good. This one's oily. While this is drying out, I'm gonna remove this one. And this one's very dry. Might be a bit tough to get to it. Gonna try to use an adapter. All camshaft position sensors replaced. Now it's time to put everything back in. So I thought about doing modification there. I checked the bolt size is M6 1.0. I thought about putting in long like cylinder here and get a longer bolt. That way with a regular wrench you'll be able to just open those bolts from here. It's not really bad idea, but overall it wasn't that tough to take this manifold out. Only thing I think what I would do is get couple more 1/4-inch adapters for ratchet to make sure I get that one easily. This one I think I was able to get to with no issues. This one not that easy. Also I think if I'll remove just corners here but not remove this metal centerpiece, it'd be a lot easier to remove manifold as well. Now I'm gonna replace intake manifold gaskets. I'm actually gonna be careful. I don't wanna drop those bolts. I'm just gonna do one gasket at a time. All bolts are still in place. Now I'm gonna gently put manifold back on. And actually before I do that, I'm gonna try to plug in this throttle body. I'll slide manifold further down. And now I'll try to plug it in. I tried to fix this connector. I did somewhat okay job. My advice, don't remove it till you remove the manifold. What's really weird is broke this plastic piece, but without it it snaps in and I can't even take it out. So guess I'll have to play with a flathead screwdriver to take it out, but I'm fine with that. Now I'm gonna put intake manifold in. Double check everything looks good. Hose is in. Gonna move this out of the way. Kind of weird that, and I triple checked everything. Looks like everything's positioned correctly, but it's shaking like this. I'm not sure if it's normal or not. I'm gonna secure the bolts and see what's gonna happen. I guess it's supposed to move like that. Now I'm gonna secure the two in the back, the tough ones. Now that it's secured, it actually looks pretty good. Gonna plug this in. On this side, I'll just put this one. Put this one in. And this one. Finally, this one. Gonna install this T20 bolt. Now one of the toughest parts, gonna have to slide this all the way in the back. Gonna start hand tightening those two bolts. One on this side and one on this side. Now I'm gonna install two 10mm bolts and they go under this cover. This one goes like this. And this one goes like this. Again, more than likely here you're gonna have 8mm bolt. I had 10, so I'll put 10mm back in. Eight millimeter bolt goes here. On this side, 8mm bolt. And last one goes here. Now I'm gonna put this cover back on. Same with this one. Now I'll put this strip back on. Now we have to put back that intake or airbox enclosure. Missing bolt here, missing washer here, but I'm gonna address it later on. Gonna secure bolt here. Gonna connect this connector. Gonna connect this tube. Gonna make connection here. Gonna connect this piece. I'm gonna secure this small cover. Size of those bolts is T20. Finally, gonna put this last cover back on. Gonna start this vehicle. Well, that's how you remove and install intake manifold. Probably next time I'll have to do it. First I'll try with several adapters. First I think what I'll do is I'll remove those covers, those corners. Before removing this one, I'll try to remove or loosen those two bolts in the back. And if that's not gonna work, then I'll have to remove this tough to remove piece. I'll also get a couple more adapters for 1/4 inch ratchet. just to increase chances of loosening, removing those two bolts without removing this. I just did it again, and I'll show you how I did it. So remove this piece, and main reason you remove this piece is it'll be a lot easier to disconnect two connectors here, and it's very easy to remove this piece. Second, to get to those two bolts, for the bolt on the right, all I used was this long socket and this ratchet. I was able to put it all in and it went fine. For the one on the left, it's a bit too short, so what I did, I use this adapter. It's a 1/4 to 3/8. You don't need exactly 3/8, but something like that. Where with this, it's long enough. And for here, I just use 3/8 ratchet. Smaller one would be better. And as you can see, it comes off pretty easy. So actually, instead of putting gaskets on top, we're gonna put them on the bottom. Before reinstalling intake manifold, make sure manifold gaskets are on the bottom. Initially installed on top and air was getting in the system, had a whole bunch of issues. Had to do pretty much all of it all over again. Okay, let's reinstall intake manifold. And that's how I removed and replaced camshaft position sensors. I used FCP Euro store for the sensors. You could also get them on Amazon, but FCP Euro provides lifetime warranty. I'll provide the Amazon affiliate links for tools I use to remove the intake manifold. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to respond as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. See you next time.